Hey everybody, welcome to the Take Shape for Life Habits of Health call tonight. We are Amber and Jared Smithson, certified health coaches. And for all of you who are brand new joining us for the first time, welcome, welcome. And we're glad that you're here. So this call is basically for anybody. It's for clients, it's for health coaches, health professionals, anyone who wants to really incorporate the habits of health into their life for the long term. And so you might hear questions or things from all of the above. So some people might be in 5 and 1 weight loss, other people are on 4 and 2 or 3 and 3 in maintenance, transition, all of the above. So for everyone who's on, welcome, welcome. So one of the things that we wanted to focus on tonight is how your body and your stance and how you present yourself can affect your program.
Yeah, there's a lot of research out there that, we've all heard that the body follows the mind, right? Our mind is so powerful, but also there's research that suggests that the opposite is true too. How we present ourselves, how our posture and things like that affects how our mind functions too. So we're actually going to share a few things, and the things that we're sharing actually come from one of my very favorite TED Talks from a gal by the name of Amy Cuddy, and I just wanted to kind of share her story first. And how it plays out in what we're going to share with you, because our health is a lifelong journey, right? Many of us go through a weight loss phase, but once you reach that healthy weight on the scale, what do you do the next morning? You do the same thing over again. If you want to live a lifetime at a healthy weight and enjoy optimal health, you're going to continue to eat 6 small protein carb balanced meals. You're going to drink lots of water, and you're going to move your body. You're going to learn how to manage stress better, take some quiet time, things like that. So you're going to keep doing those things if you want to maintain that new healthy body that you've created.
Well, I think that's a good point, Jared, because sometimes, we get into that diet mentality where, okay, we're on a diet, got to drink our water, or got to get your meals in or eat your lean and green. And then there's a part of your brain that's going, man, I just can't wait till I hit my goal weight so I can stop drinking my water, so I can eat, all the stuff I'm not allowed to eat or whatever it is. And that is your signal to go, oh, okay, that is thoughts that's going through my head that lends to diet mentality, right? So it's good. It's good to listen for that, because we're humans, right? There's a part of our brain who says seek pleasure, avoid pain at all costs. And sometimes it's a lot more pleasurable to eat chocolate cake than lean and green, or to just not drink your water and have Diet Coke instead, right?
Absolutely. So actually, I'm gonna share Amy Cuddy's story a little bit later, but we're gonna share our screen and just share a few. Where's my PowerPoint?
That one.
Oh, there we go. I was looking for my PowerPoint.
Okay, is everyone seeing the PowerPoint? Somebody give me a thumbs up. Okay, good.
Okay, awesome. So our bodies change our minds. Our minds can change our behavior can change our outcomes. So we want to focus on this, and we want to show you a few things. So, there's a bunch of research out there that shows that there's these power poses. They've taken people who are actually blind or deaf, people who didn't understand, maybe they hadn't seen or heard something like this before. They hadn't heard music. They hadn't seen like a victory celebration or anything like that. And they gave them a task, and from very small ages, children would do this. They would put their arms up like they had just been victorious in something. So it's a natural, very natural reaction to spread out like this when you're feeling powerful.
Yeah. And let's see that next slide. So there's some other power poses, like, the hands on the hips. It was interesting because Dr. Anderson, who the founder of Take Shape for Life, we were at Go Global, and we were in the Team Global.
Yeah.
We were in the Team Global meeting, or it could have been Global Directors, can't remember. But basically, our moderator was saying, okay, how do you stand, or how are you when you feel like you're at your best? And he looked a lot like this top left, hands on his hips, like weight equally distributed. And for any of you who have met Dr. Anderson before, he's very like confident, powerful guy, right? Believes in what he's doing, knows what's what. And so I think that I've seen a lot of people using the power poses just naturally.
Yeah, so let's go back to this slide real quick. So this was a study done with the help of Amy Cuddy, that they took students and they had them interview for jobs. They didn't know that they weren't studying for or interviewing for real jobs. They had mock interviewers come in, and however, before they went through the interviews, they had one group of people who went and they showed them these power poses. And they instructed them and coached them on having these kinds of postures during an interview. And then there was others that they didn't give as much coaching to, and those were some of the poses that they saw in those interviewees, where they were folding their arms, and when they weren't sure of an answer, they would put their hand on their neck or their face. They would slouch forward or roll their shoulders, and the interviewers would grade them on who they would prefer. But they also, it wasn't just many of them gave the same answers and so forth. So it's very interesting how when we feel confident versus when we are unsure of our actions. And the people who were coached on these power poses, they were graded much higher, even though they didn't have the correct answers about everything.
That's interesting. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing real quick, and I want to, I'm going to put on the gallery view so I can see you guys. Okay, so just for a second, if you're on your video, just kind of do a lower energy pose right now, like fold your arms, slouch your shoulders, like just kind of, get small and kind of just feel how that feels, or look down and just sit with that for just a little bit. Yeah, hand on your face or behind your neck, kind of like, oh, my neck hurts. Or okay, so now switch it up, and I want you to like put your hands up high, like, yeah, I won, or I'm stretching, or yeah, hands behind your head.
Got my water in today.
Yeah.
Stuck to my schedule.
That's right.
Passed up on the chocolate cake.
I hear a little like props going on. Yeah. Which feels better? Like literally, I'm gonna allow you guys to unmute yourself if you want to. Somebody tell me like just how that feels, just moving your body. Somebody get off mute and share. Or I will call on somebody. I will call on Liz Jensen. You're off mute.
I just thought it felt like more fun and freeing, like almost like just feel the air, flowing through your body. So yeah.
I love that. Anybody else? Oops. Kurtley?
What? I just barely got off the phone with a client. What was your question?
Okay, never mind. You're good. On the spot.
I'll say it felt a lot more energetic and positive.
Awesome, Sandy. I love that. So isn't it interesting that you probably were feeling however you were feeling before you went through the exercise, and after those two different things and feeling the difference between them, it's amazing how your body can actually change your mindset. So here's another one to do. You have a pen? Here's one. Okay, grab a pen or a pencil if you have one near you. Okay, this one will be fun in gallery view as well. Okay, grab a pen or a pencil, and now I want you to stick it between your teeth. Okay? So doing this, I'm gonna talk about it in my teeth. It actually makes you smile. Like, it brings your cheeks up. You have to open your mouth. It actually changes your mood. It makes me laugh to do it, actually. And it's funny because just physically making yourself smile can change your mood as well.
How many of you have ever, probably none of you have ever experienced this, where you start a new day and you're like driving to the gym and you're just hoping for anything to distract you, and like, oh, I got a phone call, got to go pick up a sick kid from school or whatever.
Hopefully I get a flat tire so I don't have to go to the gym,
right? And we're like, it's so miserable. I do not feel like exercising. And none of that stuff happens. There's no sick kid, there's no flat tire. You get to the gym, maybe even you sit in your car for a couple of minutes and like start texting people or Facebook messaging people like, oh, what else can I distract myself with? And then nobody responds. And you're like, okay, I'm just going to go exercise. And then all of a sudden a lot of exercises, you're in these power poses naturally. You start getting blood flowing through your body and stuff. And then what happens? You get happy. You feel better and stuff. So it doesn't only happen with exercise. It happens with the way you move entirely through your day.
Or the way, even with your eating. Let's talk a little bit about that. You know, like what's your body language? Like, oh, I'm making my lean and green and I'm so tired of chicken, or you know what I mean? Or I'm making my brownie up. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I get to eat brownies and get healthy at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, what is your body language connected to what you're doing with your program, right? And it goes back to I can't wait to be at my goal weight so that I can blah, 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 versus, wow, I can see myself eating 6 times a day, like forever. Like, this gives me so much energy. Like, when I reach my goal, like, that's just the first step. So there's a big difference between those. Let's see.
Yep, for sure.
Share the screen again. This one. Thank you.
Yeah, so how many of you have ever heard this phrase, fake it till you make it? So what happens when you fake it till you make it? These are some of the things that typically happen in people. You feel like an imposter, right? Who is this person that's faking this? This isn't me. You feel like you don't belong in the space that you're living in. You feel like you're lying to yourself and lying to others. This is where I'm going to actually share some of Amy Cuddy's story, because I absolutely love her story. So she was a highly intellectual person, very, very accomplished in her younger years, and had all kinds of scholarships and all this stuff. She was in a severe accident when she was in high school and had a traumatic brain injury. And afterwards, she had to relearn how to do a lot of things. And her education and intellectual achievements and stuff no longer came as easily as they did before. But yet she still wanted the same thing. She wanted to be an intellectual. She wanted to teach at an Ivy League school and so forth. So she had a teacher that said, you know what, Amy, although it's going to be a lot of work, I'm going to help you. And she said that it was agonizing hours doing her homework and stuff. Whereas before, like, she didn't even have homework. She finished everything in the classroom and so forth. She went to, I can't remember which way she went. She either went to Princeton or Harvard first, and I think Princeton first, and now she teaches at Harvard.
Yeah.
But while she was at Princeton, she went up to a professor and said, "I don't belong here. I'm an imposter in my own life. I can't fake it till I make it." And her professor said, "Amy, what you're going to do is you're going to get up and you're just going to do it every single day. You're going to do it until you become it." And she no longer felt like she was faking it. She just got up and she was enjoying the journey. She was taking part in a journey that required consistent daily action. And she often went to that professor and she's like, "I still don't feel like I belong." And her professor said something very profound. She said, I can't tell you when you're going to feel like you belong, but you will have a moment in your life where it hits you. And it wasn't until years later where she was actually teaching at Harvard in a business school, and a young girl came up to her after class and said, "Miss Cuddy, I don't feel like I belong." And in that moment, Amy said, "I knew that I belonged. I knew that I had become it, because now my struggle in life, I was able to help someone else who's potentially going through exactly the same thing that she was." So it's not about faking it till you make it. It's about consistent daily action, just doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, and creating those habits until you become it, and you wake up and you're like, how was I never this? How was I never a healthy person? Because when you do it every single day, you eat your 6 small meals, you drink your water, you move your body, all those things. 7 years after losing 50 pounds, I wake up every single day and I'm like, well, it's simple. It's my life now. But along the, sometimes some days along the 7 years, I had moments where I'm like, man, am I going to be able to keep doing this?
Yeah, and there's probably many of us on this call or listening to playback where you kind of feel like you're in the phase where you're faking it, right? Where you're just doing it and you're going, boy, I don't think anyone would consider me a healthy person, or I don't consider myself a healthy person. And a lot of times we get tied up in that identity. We get tied up in believing the detrimental things that our brain tells us. And what it really comes down to is doing it every single day until one day you wake up and you have become it. I made a Facebook post earlier today and talked about how, when we first started getting healthy and I lost my weight 12 years ago, that it was hard. My kids and even this guy here was kind of like, what kind of soup are you making with fresh vegetables? And what? How come we're not just having corn dogs like normal, right? And sometimes you get a lot of pushback and you get a lot of people going, who do you think you are, right? Or we say that to ourselves. And what it comes down to is that you can become whoever you want to become. And the naysayers can just get over it. 12 years later, it didn't take 12 years, by the way. I had a neighbor that was like, oh no, 12 years. No, it was probably just like a year. I don't know, a year. They were used to healthy dinners and things like that. But now it's like, we had salmon and salad last night for dinner. Kids just eat it and go on their merry way. They don't think, oh, we're having a healthy dinner tonight. And tonight we had Asian chicken salad, and they ate it. Even the neighbor kid, who's our fourth child. We could have a fifth. Ate it too. And it wasn't like it's healthy dinner. It's just normal dinner. And I realized something. I was like, you know what? It's different now. And it's nice. And it's good.
We became it because we just did it every single day. So we want to share one last slide in our slideshow. And this is, if you do it day after day after day, this is what you can become, right? You can become Superman and Wonder Woman of health. And and those are their power poses. So on a daily basis, don't fake it. Just do it and do it and do it, and make sure that you are being mindful of how you're carrying yourself in that process, whether you're with people or even when you're alone. Go in front of the mirror and practice some power poses and tell yourself, I'm powerful. I can make good decisions when it comes to my health. And oftentimes with our clients, we talk, the little angel on the shoulder in movies and stuff. Well, maybe that's the healthy you. What would the healthy me do? And the healthy me is standing there like Superman and Wonder Woman with the hands on the hips saying, hey, I know I've got this. And I've got a lot of support around me. My health coach, other health coaches, other people who are on the journey, family members, friends who all want me to be successful, not just short term, but lifelong.
Yeah, and that's another good point, is the support that you surround yourself with, and I think that, we talk about support being twofold. It's, are you reaching out to your support network? Are you calling your coach? Are you, maybe you're in a Facebook group, maybe the Health Games, whatever it is, that are you reaching out to that support? And then the other side of it is, are you providing support to somebody? Are you paying that forward? Are you talking to somebody about what they can do to improve things? Are you bringing people into your sphere? Because you're going to be that much more likely to be successful when you're surrounding yourself with people who have similar goals. So there's a plug right there for becoming a health coach too. Health coaches with our company, 5 times more likely to reach and maintain their healthy weight. Right there, that's pretty awesome. So I want to open it up. Does anybody have any questions or want to share an aha moment or anything else? Let's see. I want to make sure that you guys can unmute yourselves. Yep, you can unmute yourselves or raise your hand. Don't be shy.
I'll say something.
Go ahead.
Oh, it just flipped on me. When you had us do the different poses, Amber, it kind of, I've heard this before about, power poses and different things like that, but something I noticed when doing it was just the nature of a power pose is more open, and it just naturally opens up your lungs and your diaphragm and everything. So you get way more oxygen, and it seems like, lately I've been trying to focus on deep breathing when I get stressed or when I get emotional or, something like that. And so it was kind of a similar feeling to me, just opening that chest cavity and doing a different pose was a similar effect as deep breathing, just really taking all that oxygen in and taking a step back and really thinking. And so that was just an aha for me.
Awesome, Carrie Ann. I love that. Isn't that true? Our bodies are always better when we're getting more oxygen. I have my kids breathe when they're all stressed out too. They're like, no. I have them do deep breathing. Who else has a comment, aha moment, or a question?
I have a thought.
Go ahead, Curtly.
I was actually talking to a client today, and we realized that she didn't, it's, the black and white when you really want to be healthy and then you make a mess up and you throw it all away. She realized she wasn't valuing the moment. She only valued a whole day. If she couldn't be healthy for a whole day, then who cares? And when we say that out loud, we just laughed. And so we talked about, well, why don't we discover how to really value the moment that you're in so that you can choose to be healthy and choose to treat your body with respect and feel good. So I think that was a big moment for me and her this week.
Awesome. The stop challenge choose, right? Stop and think about the thoughts that are coming into your head. Take a deep breath and then choose the outcome that you want. And I love, that's a huge value of a health coach, is being able to point that out to somebody, right? Like, oh, is that what you're thinking? And they go, oh, I never thought about it. That's awesome. Anyone else have an aha or comment or question.
I'll share something really quick. One thing that I have learned when you're trying to fake it till you make it or form a new habit is you have to be consistent. It's so easy to get out of the habit. And for example, I started running like 6 months ago, and I made a goal. I'm doing this 3 times a week. I'm never going to miss a day. And if I did miss a day, it was so much harder, or so much easier to miss the next day. And so if you just make it a priority, and it just, that's going to become habit. Now I love it, and it's a lot easier. But even if you're faking it, drinking your water, making sure you do that every day, then it's going to become natural. And just like Jared was saying, it's just life now. And so just make that a priority, not to skip days to get out of that habit.
Awesome, Liz. I love that. Such a good point. Well, anyone else before we wrap up the call? I always love everybody's takeaways and comments.
I'll say something.
Go ahead, Sadie.
With the fake it till you make it comment, I've actually said that quite a bit. But I actually, sorry. I actually changed the way I say that because of the program. I reiterate this to my clients: hold the vision and trust the process. So changing fake it till you make it to faith it till you make it really kind of like slides into that hold the vision and trust the process. And curbing our thoughts is one of the hardest habits to interrupt. And so I think for me, it just is a strong, and it's quite powerful within the program to really keep that in mind. Faith, trust in the process. So
I love that. That's so good. Faith it till you make it.
That's going to be all over Facebook now. You realize that, right, Sadie?
Nicely done. I love that. I think that's the perfect thing to end on, is just really trusting that process and, calling your coach, doing the things that are just set out for you. It's, it's simple, but it isn't always easy. And so really just trusting that process. And so thank you, everybody who hopped on tonight, and just keep on keeping on. We're out here to help America get healthy, and that's just one person at a time. So thanks, guys. See ya.